Hi, welcome back to Box to Lights and welcome to the Gloom of Kilforth demonstration. Everything's set up, ready to go, so I'm not going to talk you through that. I want to try and get into the action as quickly as possible. This game's currently on Kickstarter, designed by a chap named Tristan Hall, and I think you'll agree once you've seen the demo, he's done a fantastic job here. This is all prototype, so the artwork you see, the tokens, these miniatures are borrowed from D&D sets. It's all prototype stuff or placeholder art, okay? Go and check out the Kickstarter page and you'll see some of the fantastic artwork that will be in the final version. It does look this good. It plays 1 to 4. You can play solo, cooperatively, or player versus player. I'm going to play a solitaire game with 2 heroes playing cooperatively, just to demonstrate that interaction between different heroes. You can play with just one hero if you wish. That's probably going to be my preferred method, but at least I get to show you a little bit more of the mechanisms here. So we've got the human female, each character card can be male or female, and a dwarf male. They're going to start out here in Sprawl City at the centre of this 5x5 map, and these are the places that you can traverse. So this is a random setup here. Playing cooperatively, each player gets a bad guy. The aim of the game is to defeat the bad guy before doom falls across the land. So you'll have 25 turns thereabouts to get this done. So we've got the Marquis of Pain, the Abbess of Penance, Prince of Ruin, and the Deacon of Betrayal. So we're just going to take 2 of these. Let's just draw them at random. 1 for each player. Let's go back in the box. So we have the Prince of Ruin and the Abbess of Penance. Those are the bad guys we've got to take down. But before we can take out those bad guys, we've got to get through these little scenarios, what they call sagas. There's 4 sagas in the game, 1 for each player. You can take them randomly, or there's kind of a preferred saga for each hero. So I'm going to take those preferred sagas for this game. But before I do that, I need to choose a class. I'm going to just take these randomly. So not only do you have a kind of a race, you also have a class. So let's see, the human female is going to be a priest, and our male dwarf is going to be a rogue. Each of these classes give a bonus to one of their stats. Okay, so you can see that the priestess gets a boost, +2 to her piety of 5. The rogue, he gets a +2 bonus to his shadow, that's his sneaking ability. The other stats on here are arcane and martial, his battle and survival skills. Each hero also has a health and a number of starting gold. The good thing about the health in this game is it does give you a measure of how much you can do on your turn, how many actions you get, and we'll see that as we jump into gameplay. The preferred saga for the priest is Rescue Villagers, and each saga has 4 chapters. They're double-sided, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got to complete these and then kind of complete the final task. There's 3 cards for each of these. And for the rogue, it's Assassinate Lord. Once you've defeated the final objective, then you can take down the Ancients. And in the cooperative game, you've got to take down all Ancients in order to win. In a competitive game, it's the first one to take down the Ancient that wins the game. So already the design is good. We know what our long-term objective is, and we've got a series of small objectives to take us there. We've got to progress and build up and power up our characters in order to take down that game end boss. We've got a few more things to help us along the way. We've got gold. We've got 1 gold each. This is our starting gold. This will allow us to buy our health. We can heal back up in the city, and we can pay for medication to speed up that process. And we can use gold to upgrade in the city sprawl to help us defeat encounters. And the encounters are the key here. We're going to be defeating encounters to try and complete these chapters of our saga. And that's another important thing. This is kind of open world, right? You can go and do whatever you like and as fast as you like, but the key mechanism is this timer, right? These are going to be turning to the Gloom side, and that's what we're up against. So there's a finite length of time this game is going to last, and that's the amount of time we have to complete our missions. Otherwise, we're free to go and do what we wish. The other thing that's going to help us is the Fickle Hand of Fate. So we get these 4 fate tokens. We've got these sand timers here to represent these. I'm not sure what they'll appear like in the final game. And this is where we can use the fate to kind of help us complete some tasks where otherwise we might fail. Let's begin then on day 1 of our 25 days with the daylight phase. And this is where we get to take actions. And the number of actions we take is equal to our current health. So our human female, let's call her Betty. Let's give her a name. She has 4 actions. 4 action tokens. She has 4 health, 4 actions. And let's start spending them. So Betty's going to spend her first action. And one of the actions available to us is move. So for 1 action point we can move orthogonally. So we can move here, here, here or here from the city sprawl. Now we're chasing down upgrades, and we need to complete our first saga. We need some plains and badlands. So we're going to rescue these villagers. It tells us, as the cities and castles throughout the land prepare for the descending gloom, outlying farmsteads and villages are left defenceless against the growing tides of evil. An innocent tribe of folk are beset on all sides in their isolated home, and their humble village is under attack. You must find a route through the wilderness to save them. So the route through the wilderness, these are the clues that are going to lead us there. A plains encounter, a badlands encounter, and a stranger who we find in this landscape is going to help us with the rumours as to where the route through the wilderness is. Let's try and track down that stranger then in the plains and the badlands. Well, let's see. Different types of terrain around here. We've got some plains, some badlands. These are mountains and these are forests. Okay, they're colour coded. So we kind of want to head where there's badlands and plains. Perhaps, why don't we go south? Let's go south onto the barren wastes. So we move Betty to the barren wastes, and we check its terrain type. It's a new location. There's no encounter here, so we draw an encounter from the Badlands deck. Let's see what we get. It's some slavers. Slavers have been abducting city folk to take away on their ships. Stop them. There's some keywords here. Destroy, Badlands, quest. Given this is a quest, it's not an enemy, and it's not an event. Enemies you have to defeat before you can move on. Events resolve immediately. Quests, they take another action. But these side quests are useful. This is the way we can level up. For now though, next action, let's pass on to our male dwarf, and we'll have Boris spend his first action. Okay, and his saga, assassinate lords, needs forest, mountain and a place. A malicious lord plots the downfall of the free peoples of this land. It's said that this lord's wicked operations and machinations are carried out from his hideout in the loneliest forest in a high mountain. The lord's guards are on patrol day and night, protecting his secret and terrifying lair. So let's head north, I think, where the mountains and the forest. We could go this way. We could go up around this way. Now let's go north. Let's go north into the open heath. The north holds a large forest and mountains. Let's draw. Oh, we get a place. This is the gloomy hamlet. Well, we do need a place. But like a quest, this is something that's going to need another action to explore. And that's exactly what we're going to do now as we move back to Betty's turn. So she'll spend another action. And this time she's going to use the action confront. If your encounter is a quest, a place or a stranger, you can confront them. So we're kind of taking on these slavers. This is our sub-quest, and we're hoping to try and get a decent reward here. Now this is quite a tough quest. these are the skills that will challenge us to defeat this quest. We've got Arcane and Stealth. And in order to defeat these, we've got to choose one of those skills. And we use our study and our sneak values to challenge them. So Arcane was 3, the sneak was 4. And if we look at Betty's skills, Betty's learning ability is 3 for Arcane. So she gets to roll 3 dice, and we're looking for 5s and 6s. Okay, we got 2 successes. That's pretty good. Now we could add to that. We could use one of these Fate to make a 3rd success. That will give us the 3 successes we're looking for. Why don't we do that? We have successfully confronted those slavers and defeated the encounter. Now we get a reward. And the reward we have here is a choice of either 3 gold, or we can grab a loot token. Well, I quite like the look of the 3 gold. I think I'm going to take the 3 gold. These are loot tokens. There's a variety of numbers of gold and other artifacts that may help us. I'm going to take the 3 gold. I'm going to need gold to complete my sagas anyway. Next, we get to have a reward. Okay, so we've done the loot, and then we get a reward. It's always loot and reward. Okay, a defeating an encounter. Now, a reward is, we can either keep this card for its rumour, and this will give us these keywords: destroy Badlands quest. And we do need a Badlands. Yeah, remember, we're looking for rumours about the Badlands, of where this shortcut through the wilderness is. Or we can take a reward, and the reward depends on what type of encounter it is. This is an arcane one, so we would get the matching reward, which in this case is a spell. And we have only just started out, so we're going to cross some more Badlands to get to the plains down here, which I think is where I was headed, rather than this way. Could go across the mountains. Now I'm gonna take the reward. I'm gonna take the spell because yes, I need this, but we've got 25 turns, remember, so we've got a little bit of time. We need to level up. So let's discard this one and take a spell, and it is Charm. When you're taking these spells, though, or any of your rewards, it's only the rumour of a reward, okay? You actually have to go, see this one says Blessed Grove, we actually have to go to the Blessed Grove to discover this spell. So for now this just stays in our hand. Put it under here as a reminder. Not a bad reward. Boris spends another action, and we're going to take on this gloomy hamlet. You can see it's not immediately easy. Got skills of 4 and 4 for lore and sneak, but Boris is going to confront this hamlet. The settlement rested beneath looming hills that seemed to cast a perennial shadow and pall. The furtive, darting shapes of its inhabitants belied its apparent neglect. Of course, a bit of a no-brainer in terms of which skill we'll use. We've got 3 lore, 4 for our sneak, so we're going to use 4 dice. We're looking for 4 successes. And we've got just 1 success. Now, even spending a fate token's not going to help us here. That'll only give us 2. But here's the good news. You're going to need some tokens for this. We can mark up that success, and that success will carry over to the next action. That success stays there for the rest of this day. If we hit the night phase and we've not completed this, then those tokens will get removed. So let's go back to Betty then. She's got 2 actions left. I think we're going to have her... Well, she can do 1 or 2 things. She can either stay here and continue to search the barren wastes, or we can move on. As it goes, I think I'm going to move on. And we're going to move into the wretched bog, but before we do that, we're going to have Betty proceed a little more cautiously. So using one of her remaining 2 actions, we're going to have Betty take on a hidden stance. We put one of these tokens on her. And the point of this is if we enter this next location, when we move next time and we spot an enemy, they'll get the jump on us unless we go in cautiously. I don't like the look of these this wretched bog, so I'm going to change my stance to hide. Back to Boris then. So he's going to take another action. He's going to roll 4 more dice and have another crack at this gloomy hamlet. We need at least 2 successes more to be able to add a fate. Yes, we got them. We got 5, 5, 4, 1. We've got 1 more action left, so we could save our fate and roll again. I like the idea of progressing quickly. We'll spend it, but you have to be aware that you can only spend 1 of these per day, and we've only got a limited number for the 25 days we're up against. So early use, but I want to move quickly. So once more, we have a choice. Now that we've completed this encounter, we can take the 1 gold or we can grab a loot. And yeah, I'm going to grab a loot. Let's see what we get. It is a blessing. It says we get +2 fight for 1 battle round against an ancient. Alright, well that's going to come in handy when we get there. Now we get to choose whether we want to take the place or the rumour of a reward. And I'm actually going to take this. Because they're not so easy to find. So I'm going to take this rumour and place it in Boris's hand. Right, why don't we keep their hands face down so we know what they are. Okay, face down. Right, back to Betty. Let's use our final action. Reward, was it the Blessed Grove? The Blessed Grove is down here, so we're kind of in the right direction. For now, we're heading into the wretched bog, and let's draw an encounter. It is some bandits. Okay, another side quest. That's alright. I was worried it was enemies for a minute. So our hidden stance was a little bit of a wasted action. But never mind, we're going to plod on to Boris's turn. He's got 1 action left. And he's going to plod recklessly on down the Spine Ridge Pass. Let's see what he encounters. Oh, it's an enemy. Because we're not hidden, this enemy does get the jump on us. He's going to get an extra die roll when we come to battle him. The sneak value of 2 says if we're hidden, we're not. If we're hidden, then we could have tried to evade the beastman. We haven't got a chance. Okay, so ignore this. We've got to fight. This enemy has 3 health. 1, 2, 3, so we put 3 hearts on there. Now after the first battle round, the first skirmish, we can choose to run away and we can head back to the open heath. The penalty of running away is you have to end your turn. Right? You can take no more actions. It uses up all your remaining actions to do that. As it stands, we've got a fight. He gets 3 + 1 dice, he gets 4 dice. But Boris isn't a bad fighter either. He's got a skill of 3. So it's 4 dice for him, 3 dice for us. Let's see how we do. Oh, there's 2 6s in there. That's 1 hit each. The enemy's down to 2. And Boris loses a health. Normally, every time you lose a health, you also lose an action. Okay? And we don't have any actions left, so we don't have to worry about that. But it does mean, obviously, next time we're only going to get 3 actions for the start of our turn. The question now is, do we evade, run back to the open heath, or do we carry on the fight? If we carry on the fight, the enemy gets 1 less die. He's only got a fight of 3, remember, and that element of surprise is now lost. I think we'll go again. Let's go again. Whoa, what a beauty. 3 hits, we only needed 2. I like the look of those dice. Okay, we've taken down the Beastman. So, what's our reward? Remember, loot, reward, loot, reward. Alright, so we can take 1 gold in loot, or we can grab a token. And then we can take the Beastman as a rumour, or we can exchange him for an item. So, I think we are going to grab a loot token. I don't want 1 gold. Let's see what we get. A shovel. Okay, so this allows us to gain 1 clear action point. Alright, I'll tell you what that means when we get to it. And the Beastman does have the mountain keyword. So this could help us in our quest, and we'd have 2 out of 3 already. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe we should do that. Let's do that. Let's have Boris push on in his quest, in his saga. Alright, so we've got 2 rumours now. This ends the first day, because now Betty's going to make camp in the Wretched Bog. That ends a turn. You can make camp whenever you wish. That just signals that you're going to end your day here. Same for Boris. They're both ending their day. They're both making camp. And the first thing to notice is that Boris has his special ability. He's resilient. When daylight ends, if you're at a mountain location, heal 1 health point. He is at a mountain location, so we get 1 of our health back. I like that. Now though, we have to draw our night card and see where Gloom descends. There's a fierce storm at the verdant fields, plains location. This is, where's the verdant fields? Down here, which is where we were headed. That's not so good. You'll notice this has gone into black and white now, and it's got this -1 health point here. If a hero spends the night at Gloom location, then they lose a health point. That's not a good place to spend the night. Okay, so we've placed a location into Gloom. Now we have the event, the Fierce Storm. Now this is a weather effect. This stays in play all the time. It says when it's revealed, place 1 obstacle at each location for each place it has. There aren't any places on the map. There was 1, but we already encountered it and resolved it. So nothing happens here, but it does stay in play. But it does say when a place enters play, place an obstacle on its location. So obstacles are things that make that encounter, that location harder to navigate. So this stays in play. Every time a place comes in, an obstacle gets placed. Next, we need to see if one of your ancients will react to a location going into Gloom. Check your ancients, because each ancient has a night phase ability. So for the Prince of Ruin it says, when a forest location falls into Gloom, place a random plot token on it. And then our Abbess of Penance says, when a Badlands location falls into Gloom, place a plot token on it. So nothing extra happens. We're at a plains location. These are our plot tokens. They're actually cards here, but these are like plot twists. They're little things that change the course of the story. This is a lovely story-driven game with that plot. I really like that little plot twist element. Now we've reached the end of the first night. As dawn approaches, any hidden heroes become unhidden. The first player to make camp becomes the first player for the next day. So this stays with Betty, and we'll head into day 2. Join me next time.